Hello everyone, I am back and today we're building a drive-through cinema or movie theatre, however you want to call it. And yeah, this was actually a really fun one to do. Going into it, I don't know, it took me a little while to decide where to build this actually, because I kind of had two visions of how we could make this drive-through cinema. And so originally I thought maybe we could build this in Del Sol Valley, because obviously that's the world of making movies and things. I thought that'd be really fun, and I thought it'd be really cool to build it on, one of the mansion lots up high, because then you could have the screen in front of the city backdrop. You can see all the city from up high. I thought that looked super, super cool, especially at night with all the lights behind it. But obviously that area is very affluent and there's lots of mansions, right? So I felt like the drive-through itself would have to be very, luxurious, It'd be an expensive place to go, quite swish. And although that would be super cool, and who knows, maybe we will make that version one day, I also really wanted to make a more old schooly one that I feel it's kind of in the middle of nowhere a little bit. Not in the middle of nowhere, but a bit more small towny. And, maybe the teens who go there. Because I imagine it's a lot of teens that attend this lot. I imagine that their parents also went there as children, or as teens. That's kind of the vibe I was going for. You know what I mean? Somewhere that's been around for a long time. But obviously things have changed a bit, but yeah, so that's kind of what I was going with. So I actually decided to build it in Copperdale, which I still always want to call Riverdale. I know it's literally because it just shares the word Dale in it. It just makes me think Riverdale, and obviously it's kind of in my mind the teen world because it's for the high school pack. But yeah, I thought this would be a cool place to build it, especially because, like I said, I feel like it's a teen hangout, So yeah, so I'm actually building on the park lot where the park was. I thought it was quite good because we can really kind of make it blend in with the trees and things and really nestle it in so it looks like I say, it's been there for a long time. So that's what we're going to do. So in terms of obviously functionality of this lot, obviously your Sims probably aren't going to come and obviously know it's a cinema. And I know that it's not this world, is it? It's the newer world, I think. Is it San Sokoa that came with a cinema, didn't it? I think. Was it this one? I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, they're not going to know, obviously, that that's what it's for. So I sort of settled on making this a bar lot type because I figured there would be some other things other than the sort of cinema itself, even in real life. Wanted to have obviously an area where you can get food and drink, and I figured that would kind of make for a lot of the gameplay as well. So yeah, so this lot has I make a kind of bar which is a little bit more modern, or like it's been done more recently, and then I also make a kind of, I don't really know what to call it, it's kind of like a food drink type. It's not a cafe. I actually end up using the bubble tea counters just to have it a little bit different. And again, I just feel like it fits with this world quite well. Because I wanted the option of, I don't know, I always imagined that there would be a place where you could get hot food. So nachos and things, which you could also get from the bar, to be fair. But, where you could get food and drinks and that sort of thing. But then I also actually wanted a kind of sweet stand, if you know what I mean, where I feel like you could get ice cream, popcorn, just the sweet stuff basically. And then I guess the sort of other food place is more savoury. So yeah, so you got a savoury food place, which you can also get drinks, and then a sweet food place, which you can actually also get drinks as well from, hot drinks. But yeah, that's kind of where we're going with it. Now, obviously, I put all these cars in the middle. Obviously, we all know it's really sad. We don't have real cars in Sims, so obviously they are debug cars, and your Sims can't sit in them to watch the film, which is really sad. But what I do is, so you'll see the trucks, and the trucks actually, you can actually sit in them. So what I do is I am going to make these sort of like, almost like a floor to the back of the truck. So that bit where obviously you could put like things in, like a storage area, and I put a ladder up to it. So actually they are functional. You can sit in a truck. So in theory, it is like drive-through cinema, you know? Like I feel like that's closest we're going to get in The Sims to a real one. So yeah, other than that, obviously the cars are just purely decoration. And because of that, I do also put seating around so that your Sims can sit in different places. And I do also, in the end, off camera, I do put some more sofas sort of very close to the screen. Now, obviously, depending on how your Sims are feeling, we all know they can be very fussy. And I found a lot of my Sims when playtesting just kind of wanted to stand to watch the cinema, or to watch the films, which I know isn't like an ideal situation, but it's The Sims. That's what they wanted to do. So I did put some sofas closer, and there's lots of different seating options just to see where Sims want to sit. And in my mind, obviously, I feel like this lot would be used not strictly as, you know, somewhere where you'd come to watch the film. I felt like people might want places for your Sims to just like come and hang out, and you know, like you're imagining that they're at this drive-through cinema, but it doesn't mean you're going to spend all your time just sitting watching a film, if you know what I mean. So for example, you could have your Sims come up, sit on the back of the truck. Maybe they're just hanging out, having a drink together, just chilling out. It could also be a bit romantic. So yeah, it's like different options of how you want to use this lot, which I think is how most community lots should be. I feel like I've made quite a few community lots recently, and I'm really enjoying it. And I was thinking about it the other day. I don't know why, like I've only just come to this sort of like realization that they're actually really important for the game. And I think perhaps, obviously in the worlds that we get given with the packs and things, that maybe they're like not, I don't know. I feel like obviously we need lots of houses because your Sims need somewhere to live, but we also need community lots where your Sims are going to go, because you want to do things with your Sims. You want to, you know, like go out for the day, and it's nice to have somewhere different to be able to take your Sims. And I feel like in some of the, you know, original worlds, some of the community lots aren't that exciting, or, you know, they just don't have that gameplay element, or like the idea of something different or something a bit more realistic. So yeah, it was fun to make something like this, because like I say, it's not fully functional. You know, it's your Sims, obviously we can't have cinemas or movie theatres in The Sims, but at the same time it does work, if you know what I mean. Like, it is, you can come here and you can watch the film, we can get a drink, we can have some food, hang out, and just use the space how you want. So I think it's quite fun to have that option, because otherwise your Sims are just going to get bored, aren't they? They have nothing to do. So yeah, I think it would be a good lot to have, like, just for your Sims to hang out, like I say. And what you'll see I'm doing right now is I'm making these like little entrance booths, because I thought it would be quite sweet. The idea that you drive through and, you know, like pay for your ticket and then park up and then watch your film. So I thought it'd be quite fun to have those little booths at the entrance. And you'll also see this sort of main, sort of, I don't call it an archway, but that kind of like entrance arch. I'm really sad about this actually, because that was like the perfect one, I feel like, because it looks like a car can get underneath it, and it's exactly the vibe, you know, like kind of wooden, a bit rusticy, a bit old. But I didn't realise that your Sims cannot walk underneath that particular debug item. which is a shame, a real shame. So it is different. You'll see in the screenshots at the end, and if you download it, that it is different. It's still like a cool archway that a car could still get under and stuff, but yeah, it was a shame. But these things happen. What can you do? So yeah, so that is changed, but yeah, everything else is kind of similar. Like I say, I did add in some sofas and things, but yeah, other than that, it's all as it is. And then this sort of like older looking, I want to call it like a shed at the back, is actually the toilets, because I feel like this would be a building that has been here a long time. Maybe even before it was used as a drive-through cinema. Perhaps it was just a park before this, which didn't really get much use, so that's why they changed it. But then these toilets have always been there, so maybe they're like really, really old toilets. So that's kind of where I was going with it. There's also loads and loads and loads and loads of toilets. So, bring a whole load of Sims. There is plenty of toilets to go around. But yeah, so I make these a little bit older looking than perhaps the like food areas outside, which are a bit newer, because I feel like, again, they would be newer. So there's a bit of contrast there, but I quite like that. I also figured because you'll see I've just put a baby changing mat down, or an infant changing mat down. And I kind of felt like, actually, do you know what? This could be something I use in the day as well. In my mind, when I first started building this, I was like, oh, this is like a kind of evening lot type, which I feel like most of the time you would come in the evening, because it'd be quite like atmospheric watching a film like this. And this kind of area, and then like sort of dark and then some lighting, be very moody. It'd be really cool. But actually, you could also have it in a kind of family way, if you know what I mean. So like a family day out, going to the cinema, watching a film. So yeah, I wanted to put kind of like that in case if you brought an infant with you. And the other thing as well I was thinking, because I was thinking like about actually, maybe like some children come, maybe like their parents drop them off with their friends and they come and watch a film, or like say teens maybe that can't drive yet. So I also figured like maybe some people come on bikes and that's again why I put some sofas out. I put some sofas out in that sheltered area. But again, like I said, I do put some more out for like the actual lot on the gallery. But yeah, so I don't know, I wanted there to be, because obviously the Sim can't sit in the cars, so I didn't want there to be this like, just like, and I didn't want it to just be decoration, if you know what I mean. Like I didn't want it to be a lot that you couldn't use. So yeah, so I thought let's just add some little details that maybe aren't, I don't know, I feel like it would be realistic. I feel like people would come, not in a car. So yeah, so there's different places to sit and places to park your bike up. So yeah, just thinking about like the different kind of Sims that might come here. And then this building is, like I said, I'm going to call it like the savoury food area, even though, I mean, that like the bubble tea countertop will obviously sell like sweet food, I'm pretty sure as well. But in my mind, like in real life, it would be somewhere where you could get more savoury food and like warm food. And then the other reason why actually I picked the bubble tea is I always find like you can get like iced drinks when you go to watch a film. And I was just thinking like the kind of bubble tea, like because the bubble tea like cups and things, obviously quite different from just like the standard like coffee cups that they can get to go. I thought that kind of gave that idea of kind of like a icy drink. That's kind of another reason why I picked that. Just a bit different. And like I say, just a bit more like, I don't know, like, so I feel like when you go to cinema, you want to have lots of snacks and like, just, yeah, lots of food that you shouldn't really eat, So I just wanted like the choices. And then I would put those like fridges as well at the back, because I felt like they looked like they had, again, like drinks in, so like fizzy drinks. But I think they don't really function like a proper fridge, do they, those ones? I think they're a bit like, it's a funny item. I think you can like order food and stuff from it. It's really random. But yeah, I just thought that looked quite cool. There is actually a little fridge in this space, because I do, you might have noticed, put an oven, because like I said, I did want the idea that you could get hot food here. Now, I could have used the like dine out food counter, which also would have worked because it kind of looks like they've got like, you know, that kind of hot food, like chips and burgers, that kind of vibe, which also is definitely food you'd be able to get here, but it's a little bit more, I don't know, I really don't know how to describe it. Like, I want to say fun, but that's also fun food. Like, you know, I want to say like sweet food, but the sweet food's going in the little pop-up. But this kind of like just food that you'd be able to get at the cinema, basically. Or if you were just coming like in the day, you would be able to get like lunchy food, you know. But anyway, basically it sells food and drinks. And then this is my little sweet sort of stand, and you'll see I put the like popcorn maker and the ice cream maker because I thought that would be really fun. And then these like tables, and you'll see me now. This is a fun watch, I will tell you now. Watching me do this. I really wanted to make it look like there was kind of like a pick a mix of sweets. You could pick lots of different sweets. And so I basically just get all these little baskets and put like little, I think what they actually are like little gemstones from the Jungle Adventure pack, I think. And I put them in the basket to look like lots of little different sweets. And then on this side, what you'll see I'm doing now is they're like bags again, which I feel like look like sweets. I'm not totally sure what they are. They're from the wedding pack. So to be honest, it could even be like confetti. I'm really unsure, but it kind of looks like it could be sweets or like treats of some kind. So I put them there. And then, yeah, like I said, here I am putting all my little like gemstones down just to look like sweets. It's just to give the idea. Obviously this doesn't function in that way at all. Obviously there isn't a real pick a mix. Wouldn't it be lovely to have a real pick a mix? But yeah, it's just to give the kind of impression that there's something else here than obviously other than, like I say, you can come get your ice cream and your popcorn. I feel like this is also the place which would sell candy floss. I think I'm kind of like, when I'm thinking of like the food, it's kind of like a cross between, because obviously it's outside, so it's not like what you'd get at like a normal cinema, but it's also a little bit amusement parky, if you know what I mean, the food choices, which I feel like is what there would be, because obviously it's all outside, and this is obviously looks very like pop-up, and they've just set it up. I do put obviously like the coffee machines, which I know is a little bit like, you know, how they're plugged in, but I feel like they have a long wire going all the way to the like cafe building, like, and that's how they get their power. But I figured this place would sell like hot chocolate, you know, like hot chocolate with cream. Like in an evening, if it was a bit cool, that'd be nice, wouldn't it, to get like a hot chocolate and like hot. Like I use that, you'll see the kind of little board I put up on top of the tent area, which has got like donuts on as well, and that'd be nice, wouldn't it, like hot donuts. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe we were going for over there. I think that'd be quite fun to have that. And then this final like little building is the bar, and I kind of struggled to start with kind of how, I don't know, like the kind of vibe it was going to be. I wanted it to be a bit more modern, so yeah, I go for kind of all pale natural woods, and then a much more modern bar, which is actually the one I think from the bowling pack, which I think kind of, I like the I don't know, it's like very simple, you know. So I thought it worked quite well. And then I kind of like the idea of having, you'll see I put the kind of, I mean, it's really just like floor tiles like sticking out above it, and I imagine that kind of like opens and closes, you know, like it's kind of like a door, and then they close it at, you know, when it's closed and open it when it's open. But yeah, so it's kind of like how they shut up shop for the night. So yeah, that's kind of why that's like that. And then yeah, it's quite simple really. It's just, I just feel like it's a bar. Like I say, it really adds to the gameplay of the lot, because like I said, you know, I didn't want it to just be like you come and watch a film, because I don't know if like Sims, I've never, do you know what? I haven't played Sims for a long time, as in the gameplay of Sims for a long time. I mainly build, that's what I enjoy doing. But I don't think I've ever had a Sims sit through a whole film. I don't even know how long they are in The Sims actually. But yeah, I feel like they would not just sit, you wouldn't just come and just watch a film. I mean, you could do. I mean, you know, you can do what you want with it. But yeah, I just wanted different options and just to make it a bit more realistic in having different food options as well for your Sims. But yeah. And you'll see I kind of, with the terrain paint, I don't know, I kind of made like an almost dirt path area that kind of leads from the original path area that's kind of like preset that leads to this lot, if that makes sense. I've tried to make it blend in. Obviously, as we all know, we never get given matching terrain paints to like when there's like a nice path leading up to a house, so you can never make it perfect. But I kind of have that go around all the bits where you'd walk, and then where the cars are is just a bit more like obviously like dirty, because obviously it's like the tracks, like, you know, the tires and things have all kind of dug up the grass and everything. But yeah, and you'll see that I just put the like little bikes down as well, just to give that idea that actually some people cycle, or maybe they pull out those sofas and watch the film that way. Just, I don't know, just a little different idea. But there we are. I hope you enjoyed that one. I will leave you with some screenshots and see you in the next one. Bye.